All right. Hello, social media world. Hey, this is Gerald Stinson with Second Chance Athletes. I'm so excited. We've got a special interview for you today. I'll be interviewing Tre Stewart out of Tennessee. Hey, listen, you guys are going to be blessed today. We're going to talk about sports, athletics, life after sports. We're going to talk about how you can get healthy, get back in shape, and get off that couch, get active this summer. In fact, this entire summer, we're going to be doing a series of campaigns and interviews to help you get healthy after sports. So we're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about fitness. We're going to talk about routines. We're going to talk about stay-at-home routines, stuff that can help you no matter what situation you are in to live a more healthy lifestyle. And so I'm very excited. I met Tre when I was on the road. I was traveling, armor bearing, supporting my lead pastor, who was going to preach at the church that Tre attends, Gateway Church. And we went out there, and I saw him supporting his lead pastor, and I saw he was doing it with such a servant's heart. And I saw he looked like he was in shape. So I asked myself the question, is he an athlete? Because I was going to tell him about what we do for Second Chance Athletes, and once we had a chance to talk, we started talking. I started hearing about some of the things he was doing with wanting to open his own gym and his dreams, his aspiration, and there's just a connection. And so I was like, you know what, let's stay in touch. And then when I made this decision to want to do this health campaign throughout the summer, he was one of the first people that came to mind. Because the brother is in shape, and I found out that he actually helps that staff at that church. A few of them stay in shape as well. So, how you doing, Tre?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you having me this morning.
Oh, no problem, man. So, listen, talk to us about when did you first start playing sports, and what was your athletic journey like?
Fair enough. So I started when I was like 4 years old. I was that little kid. My birthday's a little behind the curve, so I got to start early. And I had been playing before all the way up to college. So pretty much my entire life.
Yeah, yeah. So be real, man. At what point did you notice, like, okay, I have the potential to play in college? At what point did people start looking at you, and what made you make the decision to want to play?
Actually, I was always ahead above, I would say. I was pretty talented, don't get me wrong. I wasn't cocky by any means, but I was pretty talented, so I was pretty confident as well. And as I got into high school, letters started pouring in, start getting calls here, there. And it kind of raised an eyebrow because I'm from a smaller area. So if you do get something like that, you're like, oh, this is a big deal. And that's kind of where I was like, well, I definitely want to take it in. I mean, I've been playing since I was 4. Why wouldn't I want to go to college to play? That's been the goal the whole time. So
Right.
it was just a lifelong journey and lifelong goal more so than anything.
Right, right. Man, you know what? I actually experienced the same thing being from small town of Jackson, Michigan. We actually had a few athletes who had college potential when I was coming out of my senior year. So it wasn't as much buzz, but, I was still ranked in the state, ranked in the nation type thing. So
Correct.
there was a lot of buzz. Talk to me about that buzz that was going on in that small community. How did that affect you mentally, and how did that affect your community?
Yeah, so I mean, it's one of those things where mentally you kind of feel like you put everything on your back. I was essentially the captain of the team. I was a leader. Always been one of those guys who would step up and take the bullet. I'm the first one in line. I'm doing whatever it takes. So you take a lot of responsibility as far as the community goes. People are like, hey, what are you doing? Where are you going? Who's looking at you? Where you get a lot of questions, and it makes it mean more, I guess, when you got your support, your family support, not to mention your community support behind you, and everybody's watching like, what's his next move? You know. So that's from a small town. They always get 1 or 2 guys that they peg like, man, this kid's gonna go far.
Yeah, yeah, man, it's real. You start to feel like you're on top of the on top of the world. So, what was your dream to play professional, or did you always know you would get into some of the stuff that you're doing now?
Oh, it was definitely well. I obviously wanted to go to the NFL. I was like, look, I just gotta get into a school. As long as I get into a school, there's always opportunity. I'm one of those guys where I was like, man, if you just get eyes on me, you'll love it. And that's what I was thinking. I wasn't the best, I wasn't the biggest, I wasn't the strongest, etc. But I was pretty straight, across the board, and I was confident. And I was a playmaker. So I knew I wanted to go to the next level and take a shot at the NFL. You hear it's far and few between, but at the same time, I was going to cast my hat and see what happened.
Right. So, did you like make it all the way to training camp? Were you able to try out for some NFL scouts? Like, at what point, like, what was that journey trying to make it professionally like for you? And at what point did you realize this ain't gonna work out?
Well, actually, I didn't. I didn't. My career was cut short. I had an injury when I went to college. Uh, just out the gate, it was one school that really, really wanted me that I didn't want to go there because they were a Christian school, and I had this thing in the back of my mind. They gave me full ride. I said, no, I'm not going there. I'll go to a bigger school. You know. So that's why I went to UT Chattanooga, and I went up there. I was online. I was ready. I was getting everything in. They wanted me to safety. And I actually coming in, I tore my ACL, MCL, and popliteus tendon out the gate.
Dang.
So yeah, bad news, man, bad news. So literally, before I even got, before I even got to the NFL process or anything like that, I was shot down. So I sat down for a minute, and then that's when I transferred back into MTSU, and I was like, well, I can just continue my career here. And that's kind of where everything stalled at, was when I did transfer back into MTSU.
Got you, man. So, talk to me about your your mental makeup when you had that injury and was kind of going through some of that stuff. When did you start to realize, like, man, this might not work out for me?
Man, I honestly, I went through a hard time. I ain't gonna lie. I started getting into a whole lot of stuff I ain't getting into. I started smoking more, and I never really smoked. Things of that nature, just passing time. Like, what, feeling like I had missed something along the way. I started partying a little bit more. I started going places I normally wouldn't have gone, or been around people I normally wouldn't have been around, because I was focused on football. So without that, I kind of had this void where I was like, man, what do I do now? Like, this is the only reason I've been focused this whole time. Like, my grades, my life, everything has been structured around being a football player. I had really good grades. I was brilliant. I was smart in school. I did great on my HPT and my tests and things. But without football, it's kind of like, what's the point? That was the whole reason. All of it was kind of packaged still.
Right.
So my grades in school started slacking in tissue. I lost focus. And really, that's why I was like, man, like, for one, my knee's not back where I can even cut yet. It's been half a year, and I'm ready to get back on the field next summer, and that didn't work. And then on top of that, now I'm starting to lose schooling also. So I'm like, man, I'm losing on all fronts. Like, everything was just falling apart.
Mm. So, what was the change, man? What was the turning point for you?
My turning point was, while I told myself I was going to rehab my knee by myself. So I started working at a gym just so I could get back in that atmosphere and just start rehabbing myself. And I was just a little sales guy, like just a little counter worker at a gym. But in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm gonna be in here until I can get back and running and moving. That was the game plan. And I had set out for next spring, like, hey, if I can just get back on the team, I'll at least get my life back in line. And while I was working at the gym, they taught me into doing a physique show, which is in the bodybuilding category, but it's like a swim trunks. And they were like, man, you'd be great at it. You should try it out. I'm like, look, man, I'm not getting on stage no throne. I play football. This is what I do. Like, I ain't doing that. But they talked me into it, and I actually won my first show. I won the entire thing, like, out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, maybe I do like this. It is a little different. And it went from me actually rehabbing just to kind of pass time to actually studying what I was doing and starting to like the gym environment and training and helping others achieve that same goal.
Right. Right, man. So here's the real question though. Did you feel like you failed at reaching your goal?
I did. I
And
definitely did.
and so was, I guess, for our audience sake, there's a lot of people that I work with who feel like a failure, and they almost try to use success in another area to process that failure that they had, and they never really dig that. They never really, I guess, get a sense of it being over. They just went on to the next thing. They had no closure on that. Do you feel like you had that closure, or at least have it now?
I do now. At the time, I didn't. I didn't at all. And that was one part I struggled with. I was like, man, since I can't play, I've got to be good at something. Like, I've got to be like, oh, look what I'm doing now. Like you said, it's kind of a trade-off for what you missed out on in the first place. And I had, I think, the first 2 years of actually competing and being in the industry, I think that kind of drove me to do decent in it. It's really essentially my new sport. I had to replace it with something, which was a gift and a curse. Because at the same time, I was like, if I didn't make it in this area, I've got to make it in the next. But then at the same time, though, it also gave me something to focus on. Like I said, my whole life has been wrapped in football, but now I had a new sport with a new discipline, with a new way of training and things of that nature. So it really helped me get back on the beat path and the right path.
Right. Right, man. That's awesome, man. So what would your maybe top one or two advice be for athletes who are kind of at that point where they're realizing professional is not for them, and they're trying to transition into something else to get their mind off of their failure or their lack of opportunity to go to the next level? What would your top one or two points be to help them cope with that season?
Ooh, I would say the first thing you have to do is find something to compete in against or again, because you got to look at it like this: athletes are built to compete. The whole reason athletes work out is to compete. The whole reason you do what you do and stay focused is to compete. So you got to have a competitive edge. And I feel like when I didn't have one, I was lost. I was just all over the place because my competition in my life was my focus. It didn't matter what it is. You can tell me we're gonna play tic tac toe and I want to win. Like that's how athletes are.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people you seen pull a hamstring because somebody told them they were still slow? Like that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So you gotta find something in your life to get that competition aspect back in it. And
Yeah.
also, it's one of those things where I think as an athlete, you really, really, really gotta have some tough skin because you don't want to be that guy. Everybody's got that one guy who used to talk about his glory days, and as soon as you lose or whatever it may be, the town's like, "Oh, he's another one of them," you know. And then you might catch yourself being that guy that only talks about his glory days. So you
Yeah.
gotta have tough skin and not fall into that trap of listening to what everybody else thinks about you, and
Yeah.
really, really search to find your own identity.
Yeah, man, that you hit the nail right on the head, man. That is something that I have found to be one of the most helpful tips, because one of the things about athletes is we become really good at training and I guess ignoring any obstacle in order to be successful.
Uh-huh.
And that's good when you're trying to win a championship, when you're trying to make a play, when the game is on the line. That's a very good skill set. But where
Uh-huh.
it becomes dangerous is when you do that for your life and then you bottle up all of your emotions just so you can perform.
Exactly.
And man, you hit the nail on the head, man, because one of the indicators, because I asked a lot of athletes, so how are you struggling? And the answer is like, no. And I'm like, man, I know you're struggling because you're that guy that keeps talking about when you played. And so
Exactly.
that's actually one of the things that I discovered helps athletes to discover if they do have a problem with, this transition out of sports. If they can discern if they really have detached themselves from that role as an athlete, is by asking themselves that question um, of of how did you feel about your career? Talk about all the accomplishments you made on the field, and then talk about your life now. And when you see the difference in the two, you start to realize, man, maybe I got something. Maybe something's wrong. I'm more passionate when I talk about my past than I am when I talk about my future.
Future.
And,
Uh-huh.
and that's really no way to live. And another way is a lot of times they say they're over it, and then you hear them, they're still talking about this. And here's what I discovered. And talk to me and let me know if you found this to be true.
Okay.
Guys who always, or girls who always talk about their former career and how good they were or who they were better than, they're
Uh-huh.
still trying to prove to people how good of an athlete they were.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Or prove to themselves, really.
Or
It's one of those
and there
things where
you
you
go.
got that doubt in your head because of what happened or however it ended or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So you gotta constantly validate yourself.
Oh
And it's
man.
based off of your past, so that's the only big thing that's wrong with it.
Man, you just read one of the chapters in my book, man. I'm currently finishing a book that outlines these 5 steps to discover your identity and purpose after sports, and that's one
Okay.
of the things that I talk about. It really is. I said in the book that I was talking to anybody who would listen about how good I was as an athlete.
Uh-huh.
So when I would see players in the professional that I played against who I felt I was better than, I would
Uh-huh.
talk about how I outscored them, how I outplayed them, how I got a sack on them or something like that. Just
Exactly.
I thought I was trying to prove to other people until I talked to a former NFL player and a Hall of Famer in college, and
Okay.
they gave me so much praise. They was like, man, if you weren't injured, you would have been a beast. Man, you was better than so and so in the league. So it gave me that affirmation, And then I realized that after they gave me that affirmation, I was still trying to convince people.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized it wasn't them that I was trying to convince. It was myself.
Exactly.
So man, you hit that nail on the head. Man, so talk to me about how you're doing now. How you feeling about what place are you at now in terms of feeling about not playing football anymore, and then talk about some of the things that you are doing currently.
Got you. So I finally got past it, man. I was like, look, obviously that was just one chapter in my life, and I had to look at it and pull the positives from it. Like, okay, if I can't play, what did I learn from it? And then I had to look at it like I'm still competitive, I'm still confident. It gave me kind of an identity, but also built a structure from my character going forward. So I was hardworking, I was confident, and I had a good head on my shoulders for a reason. So I kind of took that and placed it into the whole gym industry, and that led me to get my training certification. And when I went to college first, I was like, man, I'm gonna go make a lot of money, so I'm gonna go into computer science, software and systems programming. And about 1 year in, I was miserable. Like, I can't do this. This ain't for me. But my whole life, I had been training and helping out. I was a gym rat. So I got back to just the basics, and that's what I became. But I wanted to understand it more. So I went and got certifications, certified personal trainer, performance enhancement specialist, so I can work with athletes as well as fitness nutrition specialist. And I wanted to understand it more, which led me to branch out. I started training independently, and I opened up a small location, man. It was like 2,000 square feet. And you couldn't tell me nothing with my little building. I was getting it in. Which, that's their stuff. And a year later, I went and I got caught up in a non-compete clause with just a local gym that I used to train at. Something small, something simple. So I offered to buy them out. And I told him, I was like, look, I'll buy your gym. I've been wanting that gym for longest anyways. We were working out deal. Everything was going great. And I was thinking, man, I'm going to have two places. I got a conditioning area for athletes, and I got a full-blown gym, in my hometown. Man, this is going to be great. And 4 days before we closed, on July 7th, we were supposed to close around the 11th or the 12th. The deal fell through. And he backed out, which meant I lost both of the gyms that I had just got. So not only did I lose my little bitty piece of heaven, but I lost the big one I was about to get also.
Wow.
So that led me to, honestly, that was a down slope in my life. And that was just one of those rough patches. But I kept feeling like, man, God did that for a reason. If I just keep my head high and stay strong, like, if I do the right thing and take the high road, God will reward it in the end. So I did. And it took a couple months. I took off. I do a little independent adjusting, insurance, things of that nature when Hurricane Harvey hit. And as of recent, things came back around full scale, and I just purchased a 17,500 square foot gym, about 20 minutes away from my hometown.
Man, so, congratulations! Congratulations!
Thank you.
So how does that feel?
Oh, amazing! It's all in one. At first I didn't understand it, but I'm glad it happened exactly as it did.
So what's the name of your gym? Where's it located?
It is Flex Up Fitness, and it is located in Tullahoma, Tennessee, which is about 40 minutes outside Murfreesboro and about an hour away from Chat. So I'm still within the vicinity, about 15 minutes away from home, man. But it's a great place, great place.
So what would you say sets your gym apart from some of the other gyms in the area?
Honestly, I would say diversity. I was one of those guys who I support anybody and everybody. So I didn't want to come in and just have an athlete gym. I didn't want to have just a powerlifting gym or no stigma, bodybuilding gym, whatever. But I wanted to blend cultures. So literally when I came in, the first thing we did was diversify. We've got an area for bodybuilders, powerlifters, strong men. We've got ladies only. We've got childcare. We've got a conditioning room for athletes, as well as we offer group classes and anything across the board. Yeah. So literally, even tanning. I mean, obviously I don't tan, but we plug that in also to make sure that for everybody.
Okay, awesome, man. I love it. So, man, come on, help us out, man. So let me just go ahead and confess to you. I have went on spurts after my career. So I was done in 2011. I went on a couple of sprees. A couple of them was me trying to train so that I can try to go professionally again. And then when I realized this injury ain't going away, that ain't happening, then I stopped training. Then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to just train just so I can get back in shape and feel good about myself. And then it wasn't as easy as it was before. So, man, now I am day 6. I'm on day 6
Okay.
of my healthy lifestyle change. Okay, not a diet. I worked out 3 or 4 times last week.
Okay,
and that's more than probably the whole last year. So, man, I know it's a lot of dudes that's in the same position. I know there's a lot of females that's former athletes that's in the same position. Help us out, man. How can we start to get in shape after sports is done?
The biggest thing would be just get back in the environment and find an environment that is jumping, because athletes are used to intensity. So when you go from having all the intensity in the world to you just walking around the gym by yourself lost because your coach used to make your workouts for you, it's a different world. It's a different world. So really, I would just say just get in, man. And you really just got to start fiddling with stuff. Yeah. I don't care if you walk around and touch every single machine or you just touch one machine, whatever it may be. An athlete, period, has to stay in motion. Because for one, I ain't gonna lie, we eat a lot. So, and those habits don't stop even after you stop playing football. So, I mean, or whatever it may be, all athletes eat more than a regular person, period, across the board. So you got to be moving in some sort. And then outside of that, I would advise like getting with a group or a trainer, because the workouts that you ran that are specific to football may not be what you need to be doing now. So you got to kind of restructure your workout plan and make it something feasible. Like you said, you got a couple of injuries and things of that nature. So you wouldn't want to get in here and first thing you walk over and do a power plate.
Yeah.
That don't sound like a good idea, but that's what you know from football, right? So just really just getting back in and acknowledging that I don't know everything, but I do need to be moving. I think that would be the first step for everybody transitioning from an athletic stance into just a regular living, a regular workout routine.
Yeah, man, listen, you can tell you do this for a living because you didn't cover it about, you covered a lot in 2 seconds of answering that question, man. So I know it sounds like, it's simple, this, but let me tell you something. Everything simple is not easy.
I agree.
And what you said is very simple, but it's not easy. Matter of fact, I remember, you're going to find this funny. So I was like, all right, I was in second. I was like, I'm about to get back working out. I got me a Planet Fitness membership. Now, I didn't know anything about Planet Fitness. It was just the closest gym to my house.
Okay.
So I go there, and, man, I'm like, man, where's the free weights? Because my mind says I'm about to go in there, get swole. Okay, I can't. So I get on the machine, and I'm so I'm starting to feel the burn, and I'm like, let it go. Can I tell you, man? It was about 2 trainers right up on me. Oh, sir, sorry, you cannot do that in here. And she pointed to the wall, and it said the lunk alarm. I'm like, what is this?
It was going off, wasn't it?
You can't do all of that, man. So I didn't got the lung alarm. So I was like, hey, listen, this might not be the gym for me.
This ain't for me, bro. I can't live
so
here.
Man, when you talk about needing to be in that environment, that is important. Because as an athlete, you're so used to the camaraderie. You're used to getting slapped across the face. You're used to people cheering you on. It's such a energizing environment that, man, being in and nothing against Planet Fitness, because obviously they're very successful and they help certain individuals, but for the athlete,
that's not
man, if you're not self-driven, you need that support.
Exactly.
So what are some environments that you would suggest that athletes consider in order to recreate that environment after sports?
So I hate to put a stereotype on the gym, but I would, as an athlete walking in, you need probably 1 or 2 gyms. And that would be either like a bodybuilding-based gym or a powerlifting gym, which usually those two go hand in hand. Bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, usually are all in the same range. And then, of course, outside of that, CrossFit. Even though I don't have a CrossFit gym, we don't have a CrossFit space. But at the same time, a CrossFit gym brings back that competitive atmosphere and that camaraderie. So you need to either see at a bodybuilding gym, powerlifting gym, whatever, you're going to watch somebody else get it in. And you're going to see people around you who are working, which is going to make you work. You see what I'm saying? Because naturally, as an athlete, when I see him working, he ain't finna outwork me. I don't care if he across the room. He ain't finna outwork me. He don't know I'm competing, but in my mind, like, it just triggers something. That's it. So when you walk to a CrossFit gym, it's based off competition. And also, they got a really good brotherhood thing going. So they cheer, they're loud. Kind of like you said, that locker room is what you're walking into.
Yeah.
So those would be 2 areas to really, really focus and kind of study the demographics of the area. When you walk into a gym and you look around, You see some quality lifters, you're in the right place,
Okay.
regardless of where you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, so talk to me real quick. One of the things that was a struggle for me, and trying to get back into a workout routine after my career was done was it, the best way I can describe it is I didn't have any motivation because I was always training for a game. I was
Okay.
always training for a championship or athletic accolade. And then
Okay.
after sports, it was kind of like, what's the point? What would you
Exactly.
say to athletes who feel like that? Like, there's no reason for me to be training because I'm not trying to win a game or a match or something like that. What are some other motivations that they can identify to help them to have the right goals and motivation?
Gotcha. So I would say out the gate, I would say definitely, it's the look. Because as an athlete, you come with a certain package. Period. No matter what sport you play, you know
Wait, say
what
it
you look
again.
like.
What'd you say?
You come with a certain package.
Okay.
So as an athlete, you're used to looking at yourself in a fit, routine, even if you're not just shredded, whatever it may be, you know how you look.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing you'll notice or be depressed about is, man, when I played, I used to look like this.
Right.
So you got to have that motivation to maintain or at least feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Because whether you realize it or not, when you wake up in the morning, you look at that mirror, you're going to register everything that's looking at you.
Right.
And that could either be the difference in you going into a depression, or that could be the difference in you saying, okay, I can tackle this day. You know, I can
Okay.
still move forward even though I'm not playing.
Okay.
So you got to just uphold yourself more so than anything.
Okay.
And then outside of that, I would say motivation wise, set goals, man. Like
Yeah.
and like I said, friendships, if you ain't got no friends, go online and find somebody that you can compete with. Athletes
Mm-hmm.
across the board, you have to compete and you have to have a target.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, you lost in life.
Right.
So literally, I don't care if you say, look, this week I'm gonna get my bench up to 250.
Right.
Or or what, I'm about to lose 5 pounds this month,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm just gonna try to get 2 abs, like whatever your goal may be. Seriously,
2.
you got 2 of them.
I got the top 2 right here. I got the top.
There you go. So you winning. But see, you gotta have a goal though, because
Yeah.
that's gonna be something that drives you. We have a different motor.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I like what you said about when you look into the mirror, you're always going to be kind of judging yourself.
Yes,
And so what I'm hearing from you is that one of a more positive motive, other than the championship, because that's no longer an option for athletes after sports, is self-confidence.
that's it.
Work out to be confident in yourself, to be
That's it.
happy when you look into the mirror. And then those goals will help you to know. So if you look at yourself and you don't like your abs, if you look at yourself, you don't like your chest, let that be one of your goals. That's what I'm hearing from you. Is that
It
correct?
is. It is.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. So for me, well, let me ask you this question. What would you say are your motivations to work out?
Our motivations are definitely the confidence aspect.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps you in the right direction, as
Yeah.
well as the focus.
Yeah.
I found when I'm working out, or really through competitions, when I used to do cardio all day or this and that, when I first started, the thing I did was I would listen to sermons when I was on that treadmill. So like that was the closest time I felt like I was closest to God. So when I get in here, I get focused. It allows me to think. It allows me to process everything that's going on in my life. And not to mention, it keeps me tight in my walk of faith.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about, venturing off here and there. It just literally brings my life into alignment and allows me to keep everything where I need to keep it. I'm not stressed. I'm not angry. Because you got to realize, as an athlete, you lose your stress reliever. You lose every type of outlet that you have, as well as the team around you. So you go into a very, very lonely place without zero outlets. That's one of the outlets that I found to help me out along the way.
Yeah. Man, talk to me really quickly about the process of getting back in shape. So here's where I'm currently at. I need some help.
Okay.
Every time I start to get back in shape, I go
Uh-huh.
all in. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm cutting out everything. I'm working out 4 out of 5 days last week, and then
Okay.
I do that maybe for about a week or two, and then I miss 1 or 2 days, and then it's
And
like
it's over
forget
with.
it. And my wife said this to me the other day. She said, "Man, at some point we got to stop starting over."
Okay.
Because it's always like,
I
all
agree.
right, let's start back over, and then we go on this sprint. So, man, talk to me about that process, because a lot of athletes, because they knew how the condition that they were in, they try to start off so strong, just like they did. So, do you see even with the athletes you work out with that they do that? And if so,
Yes.
how can we set ourselves up for success so that we don't do that sprint and burnout?
Okay. So I would say, obviously, you got to walk back into it, which not many people want to hear. You jump in there. I mean, you being sore. So even if you do jump in head first, that's something that you're used to. So you might be able, immobilized for 3 days because you did legs when you first walk back in. But that comes with it. But I would definitely say that you got to get used to taking an L. How many athletes are taking L's? How many L's have you taken in your life?
Mm-hmm.
A lot. So when you look at it like, man, I missed today. Okay, you took an L. You gonna give up tomorrow? Would you quit football just because y'all lost one game?
That's good.
So I mean, you gotta look at it from that standpoint. Take an L. Yeah, I take L's plenty of time. It might be
Yeah.
days where I come in here and I barely move half the stuff that I want to, but tomorrow I'm gonna get it though.
Yeah.
So just take small victories along the way, man. You take that L, you get back up. You ain't gotta reset just because you took an L. You lost. If you missed a whole week, go back next week and win.
Right.
Like you gotta keep that edge. You gotta keep that edge, and just be okay with losing a little bit here or there.
Yeah, I like that analogy. Sometimes we don't view it that way. We view it as almost like, man, forget it. I'm not cut out for this anymore. But you just
Exactly.
have to keep at it long enough till your body catches up with your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So talk to me, man, about what you're doing with your staff at the church. Man, where do you start out with them, and how are you able to cultivate kind of this healthy work environment?
Gotcha. So staff wise, it's pretty much whoever wants help gets help. And it's one of those things where they see me walking by, and I'm kind of like I don't know, like the elephant in the room. Because they look at me like, oh shoot, he's walking by and I'm eating this donut. Like, like they think I'm just gonna judge him naturally because I'm usually just this other guy. So a lot of people
They try
become
to hide
more.
the donuts from you.
That's it. That's it. They become more accountable, like subconsciously, when they see me. They're like, man, I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
So it's become one of those things.
I'm losing you.
I'm kind of the encourager on the way. Because like they want to train with me, I'll bring them in, work them out. But at the same time, though, every time they see me, it's a reminder of, hey, I need to be doing a little bit more. And I try to remind them. It's not getting it.
Uh-oh. Looks like I'm losing you a little bit. Go ahead.
Gotcha. So, like I said, a lot of people look at me and they see accountability. I'm the guy who, when I walk by, they're like, hey, I shouldn't eat this donut or whatever it may be. Just
Yeah. Yeah, we're losing. We're losing you. We're losing you.
and
Uh-oh. I lost you again. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's good. One of the last things I want to talk about is just healthy eating. What are some ways that I can start to eat more healthy? If I'm never really done that, I'll just always smash food, and I worked out
yeah,
enough to where it wasn't even noticeable. Now I'm done playing sports, and the food is catching up with me, and so I need help
uh,
to develop a healthy nutrition lifestyle.
okay, so athletes for one, we used to get away with everything. Like I used to go eat McDonald's for a game and go out and ball. So we got to get out those things of, oh, it don't matter, I'm gonna burn it. That's the mindset that almost every single athlete has, or the fact that I'll take in a lot of calories because I burn a lot of calories. So you gotta look at it more so. How can I be balanced? Whatever you're gonna eat, how can I be balanced? If I'm gonna eat, this much of a real food, it's gotta be real food. This much of a chicken, this much of a rice, this much of a broccoli, whatever it may be. I just want to make sure I'm not getting too ridiculous because I'm not running 140s every day. And I'm not, out chasing people all night. So you gotta take that into account. And an easy way to do it would be a lot of people like counting calories and things of that nature. If you could just look at your body weight and for your BMR, then that'll tell you what you need calorie wise and give you a picture of how many you actually need to intake, throughout your day. So just small steps on the way, just being aware of your situation will help a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Um, man. So let's do this to wrap it up. Talk about your final. words to all of these athletes after sports? Encourage them, encourage us on how we can live our best life after sports.
Yeah. Like I said, one of the biggest things that I have is always be competitive. So I don't care if you gotta get into a gym that's competitive. I don't care if you gotta go into a job that's competitive. Go into a sales job or a marketing job, whatever it may be, because athletes are used to working for a reward, and that can be a gift and a curse. But it's also one of those things where it keeps you from being stagnated. You don't want to go into a job with ceiling because not knowing that, hey, I'm working hard and I'm built to work hard, but I don't see anything out of it, it's kind of gonna mess with your cycle. So go into an area that you can be competitive in, or branch out and create your own business, whatever it may be. And if you can get into that competitive edge and keep that competitive edge and realize that it wasn't just on the field or on the court, that it actually applies to life, then the athlete is going to transition very, very well.
Awesome, man. Thank you. So, man, Tre, you said a lot of stuff that was helpful to us. Man, you read, you spoke about half my book, so now I got to rewrite some stuff so I can put some new material in there for our audience. But hey, man, I just appreciate your
That's
time, everything you're doing for the kingdom, everything you're doing to help people become healthy, because we know that when you look good, you feel good. When you're good on the inside and you're not just working out and still eating a bunch of junk, that all the benefits that come from that to protect you from diseases and generational stuff that gets passed down, and all of that stuff is very important, man, to help us live healthy lifestyle. So I appreciate everything you're doing for your staff through your gym. Proud of you, man, for that gym. I know there's even greater things. One more time, give us the name of the gym, how we can attend if we're in the area, stop by, get a quick workout in.
Fair enough. So my name is Tre Stewart, and I'm the owner of Flex Up Fitness, which is in the Tullahoma area. That's Tullahoma, Tennessee. That ranges anywhere from Nashville to Chattanooga. We sit right in the middle. So you can stop by anytime you want to, pop up, ask for Tre, or give us a call. Outside of that, if you just need a tip or whatever it may be, you can shoot me an email online, and that is at flexupfitness@gmail.com. And like I said, I'm open to anybody, especially athletes. I got a special place in my heart for y'all. So if you need a hand just transitioning, or if you actually just want to get back into the grind and kill it, let me know. I'll be here to help out.
Yeah. Man, we appreciate that. Yeah, y'all heard him. He said flexupfitness@gmail.com. So listen, hey, take him up on the offer. I'll put that link there on the screen for you guys. If you want to email him, bombard him. No, but seriously, if you're in the area, hit him up, man. Stop by his gym, visit him, and take a selfie. Let me know that you were able to connect. I love what he said about the environment that he has there. It sounds like it's an energizing environment. You're not going to get the lunk alarm sounded on you like I did. So feel free, man. He's a great guy. I believe in him. And we really appreciate having you with us today. So, all right, man, enjoy your day. Go get flexed up, and we'll talk to you soon.
That's a bet. You take it easy, man.
Yeah, you too. Goodbye.